For anyone who's ever checked their mailbox, let's save that one for TV bloopers.
It's 87 degrees, and this is definitely not a day to be in labor. No, this is definitely not a day to be laboring in the heat.
Alcohol, liquor, booze. All right, enough. Let's go home. I'm tired.
Welcome to TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes. Tonight, a frightful visit from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. You'll see bloopers from the action movie Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins. Plus bloopers from local newscasts. And we'll see how the mighty fall. In our Practical Jokes, Marie Osmond gets caught in a courtroom with no way out. And Laurie Hendler of Gimme a Break plays a joke on her co-stars, Kari Michelson and Lara Jewel Miller. Plus, comedian Jay Leno takes you on a tour of garage sales, classic foreign commercials, Ren Seller's Silly Cinemas, Will Schreiner's Video Vault, and starring Dick Clark and Ed McMahon.
Thank you very, very much. We've got a lot of show for you tonight. We better get right to it. Ed, our opening blooper sort of illustrates that a mistake can be good.
That's the one thing I've learned from working on this show.
Really?
Sometimes a mistake can work out for the best.
What do you mean?
Well, when I first started out, I said to people, I'm working with Dick Clark.
Yeah?
And they said, that sounds like a big mistake to me.
Now, thankfully, it worked out for the best. Now, this incident, Ed, involves a toddler, maybe, a year or so at most.
They were shooting a commercial where a baby was supposed to hold on to an ice cream cone that a dog was trying to share. Now, first, watch the action here.
Now, you see, the dog would like to lick that cone, but the baby doesn't want to share it.
Now he's after that cone again. Oops. Uh-oh. Now, that was not supposed to happen. Now, just to show you how clever these advertising people are, they wrote a whole new jingle to fit that blooper, and this is how the commercial actually ran.
Everybody loves Super Brand ice cream. Every little child and every little pup. They love when Dixie's Super Brand ice cream. They want to eat the whole thing up. What happened to my Super Brand ice cream? What happened to my Super Brand cone? Or what's sad about Super Brand ice cream is when it's all gone.
Better get some more Super Brand from Winn-Dixie, Mom. Hey, I hope they gave that jingle writer a raise.
I hope they gave the kid another ice cream cone.
We'll be right back after this.
Now, Dick, before we see tonight's great collection of bloopers from the news, are these bloopers from the morning, evening, or the late night news?
What earthly difference does it make? I mean...
Oh, it makes a difference on my stomach.
Are you suggesting that maybe one report upsets you more than another?
No, I want to know what to eat. With the morning news, I always have hearty bacon and eggs. The evening news, I have veal cordon bleu. The late night news, I might have some leftovers, a glass of milk, sometimes a cold beer and a sandwich. I love pasta.
I know, but suppose these news bloopers come from all over the day.
I can handle that. I brought some munchies.
That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Now, News 11 at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Alleged
Now,
serial
keep
killer
your eye on
Henry
this
Lou
lady's
Lopez
beaded
sued
necklace.
Levitt and provided him with crime scene.
Now, sometimes the wind can cause you problems. Oh, I think he's lost the script. Oh, that's what I call really chasing after a story.
And many of those drunk drivers who kill others or die themselves out here on the highways. And many of those drunk drivers who kill others on the light.
People that Pantex are trying to make a living, we understand that. We're not against those people at all. We're just against continually making nuclear weapons.
Just go ahead. You don't have to keep your hands at your side.
Okay, we're
Just be natural.
This is natural.
That's what I understand. Tell me about that.
Well, she wanted to look pretty to be on TV, and so she got groomed, and she smells good, and she has short hair.
All right. She's very excited, too. Nancy, she's obviously very vocal. Cut.
For tomorrow. Wait, here we go. For tomorrow, you can, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Here's a forecast. Where am I?
Humidity 75%, dew point temperature's 33 degrees, and the barometer's 29.98, and it's falling. Now we'll go to the weather watches across southern New England, and temperatures, hello, folks, and across southern New England, lower 40s.
One of the most widely used birth control methods has been found to cause some problems. Dr. Dean explains why in this report as he compares it to one of the newest.
Believe it or not, it's called Pizza Palate, and it's being discussed in the Journal of the American Dental Association.
Well, this is the part of the show where we try and act like nothing's wrong.
You know, there are certain unique people who have given new meaning to the term cinema. Among them would be D.W. Griffith, Orson Welles, Steven Spielberg, Len Sella. I can't believe I said that, but you got to admit he's unique. Now, here's some new samples of Len Sella's Silly Cinemas.
Bob the Magician.
Don't think I can't do this trick just because I'm turning the light out. Way to go, Bob.
The Morning After. Self-hypnosis.
If I concentrate hard enough, the flame will not burn my hand. The flame will not burn, the flame will not burn. The hell with this, I'm going back to yoga.
Health tip.
Surgeons who advertise in comic books are probably not quality physicians.
Len strikes again.
How does he think of that? Dick, as you know, every once in a while, we get a star who's had so much fun being a practical joke victim, they want to be an accomplice in a brand new practical joke.
Just such a person is Laurie Hendler, who plays Julie on Gimme a Break.
Now, if you remember, in Laurie's practical joke, she wound up washing dishes in the kitchen of an expensive restaurant.
That's a funny bit. Now, when it was all over, she immediately wanted to play a joke on her two co-stars on Gimme a Break, Carrie Michelson, who plays Katie, and Laura Jill Miller, who plays Samantha.
Now, the premise of this joke is a beauty. One of those boring lectures we've all had to sit through. They go on forever.
Yeah, you'd love to get up and sort of sneak out, but there's always a fear of you might be rude and you stay put. But not, however, in this case, as you'll see.
Now, to make this joke believable, we had to make the lecture look legitimate. So we actually provided an audience of 200 people.
Now, remember, all 200 of these people are in on the joke, and wait till you see how we trap these two lovely girls.
Victim number one, Carrie Michelson. Now, she thinks she's going to meet a Harvard professor who's in town to lecture about young people working in TV.
Victim number two, Laura Jill Miller. She's going along with Carrie to meet this professor, and she suspects nothing.
The accomplice, Laurie Hendler. She's the only one of the three ladies who knows that this Harvard professor is a complete phony.
This is the hotel where we set up our phony speech.
Now, the crew got there early to strategically place the cameras, everything set so that we can catch the ladies when they try to sneak out of this professor's lecture.
There's the sign for our phony speech. Our three ladies have already met the professor. He's invited them to stay for the lecture.
That was our accomplice, Laurie Hendler, sneaking that way.
Remember, everyone inside this giant room is in on the joke.
And that's actor Doug Warhit.
Now, the girls think they're going to hear a 45-minute dynamic speech.
The subject which I've chosen to address this evening is one that comprises an entire section of my
Not too
book.
dynamic, huh, girl?
Young adults who work in television. It has been theorized that mass exposure in the electronic media can and very often does cause qualitative changes in the personalities of the young adult. And for the next 1.5 hours, I will...
Did he say 1.5 hours?
After an extensive research in the year...
Now, Lara Jill's already looking at her watch.
Young adult television exposure on national and local levels at some point.
That's one of our actresses yawning in the foreground. 20 minutes have passed.
Now, remember, Lara Jill and Kari are our victims, and Laurie is our accomplice.
According to the statistics I have here, fully 48% of warnings in shows which relate to their problems here on Earth, unemployment, things of that nature, crime, which they can relate to, or even the space program, which has been cut back. Although the end of the space shuttle, that situation may not be continued.
Laurie has baited the trap. She almost has her girlfriends persuaded to get up and leave.
Now, the girls are still reluctant to get up because they don't want to look rude.
Now 15 more minutes have passed. The audience is still playing along, and Laurie's trying again.
The impact seems to be, the message I have here is 44% of...
Now she's going to get him to leave. Watch Laurie Hendler grab hold of Lara Jill to get her out of her seat.
Excuse me, can we turn the lights up, please?
Oh.
Excuse me, wait, where we going? I only have about an hour and 15 minutes more to go. Could you please just sit down for a few minutes? Is there some problem? Did I say something that you disagree with?
How sorry we have to be.
I'm a Harvard professor. This is the first time that I've been doing this lecture that anyone has walked out of me. In some way, you're experts on television, even more so than I am from your first-hand experience. Is there something you could possibly add in terms of first-line experience that might make it more interesting than I've been able to make it for the audience? Well,
look at Lara Jill. She thinks she's safe in her seat there.
Add something more exciting than what I've said, or something more interesting. I'd love you to share it with the audience.
Not your lecture at all, really.
Ooh.
Somewhere. We have somewhere we have
All three of us.
I would love you to come up here for a minute and just talk to the audience for a minute about your first line experience.
Oh, boy. Now, watch our accomplice, Laurie Hendler, go over and pull Lara Jill out of her seat on the way to the podium. Now, Laurie's really doing a great acting job here.
Now, her two friends don't have a clue that she set this all up.
I would love for you to add something more germane than what I've been talking about in terms of your experience, in terms of statistically speaking, something that you could add which would shed more light than I've been able to do at this time.
Okay, I don't know. Hi, I'm Kari Mike. I don't know if you know, we're from Give Me a Break.
Watch how accomplice Laurie Hendler almost breaks up in a moment, but she continues to play along until the right moment.
Walking out, I mean,
No, not at all.
Your,
See, we have
scheduling, in terms of being in a certain way kind of rude.
We didn't mean to be rude. I would never.
Things just come up.
Did you get a call while you were sitting there or something?
No.
I've got a class to come to.
She has class, and I have to be somewhere by about, well, I told them like 7.
Because I'm kind of thrown off in terms of where I was in terms of the content of my speech. So please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I don't know. I don't have too much to say except for that I can understand how they think that television affects youth much more, I think, than the industry realizes sometimes. And
could you, in terms of statistics, do you have information?
I have no statistics whatsoever. You're the man with statistics.
I'm so glad I played the intelligent one.
And it's time to reveal the joke.
In terms of how I've been affected by being in TV and growing up and things that have happened to me. You remember last year
what a fool you thought I was for washing dishes on TV bloopers and practical jokes.
No, she wasn't, Corey. You both were caught.
We all had to leave at the same time. You're out of here looking interested in this conversation.
Next, a sexy, scary visit from Elvira, the mistress of the dark.
It's time once again to take a look at the collection of wild and wonderful little films that are sent into our video vault.
And here's the man in charge of our illustrious archives, Will Shiner.
Thanks, Dick and Ed. You know, I was just sitting here looking over this week's films, and I knew this would happen. Occasionally, I get a piece of film that is not exactly right for this segment. Like this one here from the Peterson sisters out in the Texas Panhandle. It's not just my opinion, girls. All the guys at the party last night said the same thing. We can't use it. Well, let's turn to something we can use. It's a little film I put together, which is always a shoo-in. This is a piece I put together about the space shuttle, which I believe is one of the most incredible scientific achievements in the history of mankind. But more importantly, I had to have something for tonight's show. Let's roll it. This film falls into the category of the world of science. We've all seen the exciting moment when the space shuttle goes up into space. What I thought I'd do today is take you on a behind-the-scenes look at what actually happens. The first thing that'll take place is the grounds crew will prepare the launch site. Then the rocket booster tanks are run to a nearby station for fueling. Then, of course, the astronauts' luggage is placed aboard. Then that moment we've all seen, the countdown. 3, 2, 1. We get ignition. If you're anywhere near the launch site, the ground shakes furiously. And as far as 5 miles away, the vibrations are felt. The shuttle will complete its final orbit. This is only a simulation. Then return breathtakingly to Earth to move the shuttle program just a little farther along. And that's a look at the shuttle. I hope that gives you a little insight into how the shuttle program works. By the way, they're sending civilians up in the shuttles now. My personal pick for the next one would be the Peterson sisters from the Panhandle. It's just a thought. Take it or leave it, NASA. You know, we get a lot of homemade commercial parodies on the show here. Here's one from Jerry Cook of Spokane, Washington. This parodies those, you know, those smoke alarms. Watch.
Throughout the pages of history, floods have caught thousands of people unprepared. Invest in the new Flood Sentry. This life-saving device will sound an annoying alarm when the flood table reaches its patented aqua sensor. Easy installation and maintenance are a key to its success. The new Flood Sentry is a solid-state battery-operated device built to last flood after flood. Frankly, isn't your family worth it?
Bravo. Occasionally, I give you tips on do's and don'ts for your homemade videos and films. This is just such an occasion. Watch this, and maybe you can figure out why this is a don't.
Greg Lockwood, audio engineer, opens his mouth for milk.
When I was growing up, the Three Stooges always made me laugh because each of them represented an image that I could identify with. Like Moe, the strict disciplinarian. Curly, the hopeless romantic. And Larry, the handsome stooge. You want to see a Three Stooges music video? Certainly.
When me and my friends go out into town, we can't sit still, we can't sit down. We don't like to fight and we don't like to scuffle, but we dance all night doing the curly shuffle. Hey Mo, hey Mo, hey Mo, hey Mo. Well, yuck, 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 yuck. What is he? What is he? So we never miss a Brother Shemp and his fat clone Joe. It's such a delight to boogie and hustle, dancing all night, doing the curly shuffle. Hey Mo, hey Mo, hey Mo, hey Mo. Well, yuck, 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 yuck. Oh, wee, oh, nice guy. Oh, right. Well, never miss a chance. We get up and dance and do the curly shuffle. That's right.
Doing the curly shuffle. We got a little carried away. Take 5. Well, that's it for tonight's Video Vault. Before I go, though, I'd like to say something to Dick and Ed. You know that little cartoon character that keeps closing the video door on me? Well, I've been thinking. I mean, I'm in here. I want a little respect on the show. I'm standing here, and this thing just comes in, closes the door.
Ed, you remember last season we had a very special guest with us around this same time of the year?
Yes, America's #1 rated horror host, and may I add, a very sexy lady, too.
You would add that for sure. Now, she's here with us once again to pay tribute to those terrifically wild, creative hosts from the local markets all around the country.
And when it comes to wild hosts, there's no one wilder than our special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, the mistress of the dark herself, Elvira.
Welcome, Elvira. There she is again.
Hello to you, Nick and Fred.
What? Nick and Fred? You had that problem the last time. Our names are Dick and Ed.
You mean you're not Nick and Fred?
No, does that surprise you?
No. If I was you guys, I'd change my name, too.
Let's change the subject. How is your career going?
Well, actually, I have done very well since I last appeared with you guys.
That's a great feeling, isn't it?
Boy, it sure is. Proves I can survive anything.
Oh. Well, look, you're here to help us introduce our return of the horror host segment. Now, some of these characters are frighteningly funny.
Yeah.
Boy, they sure are, Nick. You know, I saw one show last week with the scariest host I've ever seen. I'm telling you, this guy scared me out of my wits.
No, wait, what show was that?
Star Search.
Elvira, that was me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred. Didn't recognize you without the trick-or-treat tuxedo.
What was the scariest movie you ever saw?
Oh, there was this real creepy one about this dude who kept this picture in his attic, and this picture kept getting older and older, see, while this dude just kept looking young. I mean, even though, like, this guy was really old.
Oh, that's called The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Really? We called it the Dick Clark story.
Maybe we should just show the piece of business here, should we?
Okay, Nick. Now, this features a lot of the people who host horror movies all over the country. There's some real talented, funny, and weird people out there, and they all do a great job. In fact, you'll see my all-time favorite horror host in this piece.
Now, who's that?
Me.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
Oh, my goodness, look at the time. I'm going to be late. Oh, I'd better step on it.
Whoa! Who the devil are you?
Hey, you got that right, Mama. Pay attention. We are going to bring you Frankenstein versus Dracula.
What sign were you born under? Danger, high voltage.
I signed one of them organ donor cards my own darn self, and in the event of my untimely demise, some lucky viewer will receive the following. A beautiful Wurlitzer organ.
I don't know about you, but watching these horrible old movies always gives me an appetite. So I thought it might be a good idea to whip up a little lunch. There. Take that. And that.
I'm really a big fan of yours.
big fan of mine?
Oh, yeah, I think you're hot stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, hi there. Boy, coming to waltz like that can be really tough sometimes. You just never know who you're going to run into in there.
I've got myself a new boyfriend.
Oh, new boyfriend.
That's right. He's 22 years old, and we make whoopee 6 times a day, every day of the week.
Darling, you were wonderful. I don't think you'll ever appreciate how much you've done for me tonight. Where are you going? You mean this is only a one-fright stand?
What is it really like being the best known and most feared movie monster?
I get, free tickets. I don't have to stand in line at the theater. And everybody in general just kind of wants to cut me a break.
This was your last chance, Elvira, and you blew it.
Hey, it looks like it personal, okay?
You failed for the last time, Elvira. Now take off the dress.
No! Trick or treat, trick or treat. I want something to eat. Trick or treat, trick or treat. Shake your skeleton to the beat. I said, hey there, baby, don't you be surprised when the sun goes down, the dead will rise. Is it a nightmare or just a bad dream? Oh no, it's Halloween. Trick or treat, trick or treat. I want something good to eat.
Elvira, no wonder you have so many fans. You're terrific. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Nick. Oh, you too, Fred. By the way, could I just make a little career suggestion to you guys?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, I've been watching you two, and I think you guys would make great horror movie stars. And, you could star in one of those scary movies about the creepy killers.
I don't know. Do you think people would believe us in that kind of a film?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you guys get away with murder every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvira.
Thank you, Elvira.
Backed by the world-famous Curtis Mathis warranty, full 4 years, also backed by a reputable businessman with a solid business thing.
Solid business thing.
Yeah, you better get those solid business things everywhere.
Coming up, a practical joke on Marie Osmond. Coming up, action-packed bloopers from Remo Williams. The adventure begins.
Child safety seats, how not to use them, tonight at 10.
Welcome back to TV's bloopers and practical jokes.
Oh, that Hollywood is murder. The doctors. Oh, those doctors. I went to one while he was examining me. He grabbed me by the wallet and he said, cough. Wonderful doctor. Gave a man 6 months to live, couldn't pay his bill, gave him another 6 months.
You know, there's a very clever young man joining our Bloopers and Practical Jokes family tonight. He's got to be one of the busiest comedians around. As a matter of fact, you may have seen him recently on one of his frequent appearances on the David Letterman Show or headlining in one of the major nightclubs around the country. Tonight, he brings his unique sense of humor to a very common occurrence we see around us almost every weekend, the garage sale. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Jay Leno.
You know, in the wintertime, people normally just put their trash out in the street to be collected. Summer comes and people feel obligated to get a lawn chair, sit next to it, and see how much of this stuff they can peddle until the garbage man finally hauls it all away.
Household items are a big deal at garage sales. Now, here's a real interesting one. This is a combination spatula and ashtray. And here's 100 books for $25, but I think you can talk them down. The little duck that said quack, quack, quack. Boy, I love a good mystery, huh? This looks like the coat check room at a nudist camp. Well, apparently Madonna's been through here more than once.
What would something like this be worth? What will you give me? Obviously not a priceless heirloom. Here's a sign. It says, World's Greatest Lover. Now, was this an award given to you by a group?
My ex-husband.
Here's another combination item. This is a guitar piggy bank. I guess when it gets full, you got enough money to buy a new guitar. Ice skates in Los Angeles? Well, I guess there's probably a guy in Ohio selling surfboards.
Was this for you? You bought this for you now?
That was before.
There's nothing in it. There's an empty box. There's nothing in it.
Let me try to open it up and
But
try
it's just
to sell it to you.
But it's half a thing here.
You want me to sell it to you?
No, I don't want. But there's
There's
nothing in it. It's empty.
Well, what do you expect for 50 cents? What do you buy with $1?
I want this for my granddaughter. If the air will stay in it, will the air stay in it?
Well, try it. See if the air stays in it. Will it bounce? What is this?
You know, I don't have the faintest idea. I thought maybe you would.
Now, I would assume the city tends to frown on selling the street sign.
We gave them a chance to pick it up. It was dumped on our lawn, and we just got tired of it.
What else have we got? Now, what is... No.
That's to chop nuts.
Oh, to chop nuts.
Did you ever see a nut chopper?
No, I didn't, but there's a bad joke there somewhere. What would classify as official bric-a-brac here? Like, bric-a-brac is a generic...
It would be like dishes, you know, those cute little dishes there.
Now, the last lady we spoke to classified something like this as bric-a-brac, but you say this is knick-knack.
To me, it's knick-knack.
This is what you call a what-nut. Now, today we've learned about bric-a-brac, knick-knacks, and of course, this is a new category. This is the what-nut.
Always looking for odds and ends, you know.
Odds and ends, I see.
Well, here's a real odd end. This is actually quite rare. This is a Victorian stereo speaker. Used personal items always amaze me. Used deodorant, used cologne, used toothbrush. Can you imagine what this guy's teeth look like?
How much is this?
We bought that in the garage sale for $1.50. Now we're selling for $3.
Now, did you get... Explain this beauty to me.
The way that you hold it, you got an experience that I don't believe it.
Let me ask you something, seriously. What would you do with all this stuff if you didn't have the garage sale? Would you keep it all, or would you just throw it away?
Throw it away.
You would throw it away. But you know, the real idea behind a garage sale is to try and get a bargain and save some money. You know, in fact, I think I could do all my Christmas shopping here. I bet Ed would love this for his living room. Gee, here's a beautiful thing for Dick. So many wonderful things.
Ed, you're going to love tonight's bloopers. They're from the new action-packed motion picture Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
I heard a lot about that movie. It stars Fred Ward and the Academy Award winner Joel Grey.
That's right. Now, Remo is the story of a New York cop who's recruited by a secret government agency. Now, they erase his past. They remodel his appearance so that he can fight to reverse the rising crime rate.
You know, Dick, I often have a dream about changing my identity. I become another person, someone with an impossible challenge.
You become another person with an impossible challenge?
Yeah.
Who?
Your makeup man.
Who?
Now, watch Remo, played by Fred Ward. He's just run miles and miles, and all he wants to do is get to the end of this pier here. There you go.
Now, this is a very intense scene. He walks into this room, then he looks behind him, and he shuts the door. Almost.
Now, Ed, this scene from the actual Remo movie illustrates how this powerful, elderly Oriental gentleman, Chun, played by Joel Grey, can be with just one single blow with his finger. Watch.
I've been around for 10 years and you tell me I'm big enough to break a brick with my big toe.
Oh, that's powerful.
Eat the rice and play with my fingerboard. Great.
Now, Ed, this is how the scene's played in the film. Joel Grey demonstrates his strength again by punching a hole in Remo's fingerboard. Just like this.
Find a nail.
Now, here's what it took to get that shot.
Eat rice and play with my fingerboard. Great.
Keep it near you at all times. Hang it on the wall.
How?
Aha. Ooh.
Near you at all times. Hang it on the wall. How?
At last. Success. Here are some unexpected trips and falls. Someone forgot to tell this cameraman there's a hole in the road. Oh!
Next, some classic foreign commercials. Anne-Marie Osmond gets called before the judge.
Ed, we all know of your wartime exploits. They were legendary.
Well, certainly with the Nurses Corps.
Never mind that. I bring this up only because this classic foreign commercial is about French underground guerrilla fighters who are making strategic plans to attack a formidable military foe.
Oh, this I gotta see.
Messieurs, voici notre objectif. Et attention! Attention aux diffuseurs néocides biosélectifs. C'est une arme terrible qui agit en permanence. Tue les insectes. Pas l'atmosphère. Les volontaires, un pas en avant!
There are a lot of fancy, convoluted ways to sell insurance. But notice the simple, direct approach that this Swedish commercial takes. You know, they say that certain foreign foods and wines don't travel well. But this next foreign commercial has traveled to this country with its humor completely intact.
May I suggest the lamb's brains in a white wine sauce? Whole quail poached in brandy? Perhaps then you might try the gourmet beef and kidney.
Gourmet has only the finest fresh ingredients. Beef and kidney, beef and heart.
It will be the gourmet beef and kidney then, madam.
Guaranteed to tempt even the fussiest appetite. New gourmet flavor.
All right, Ed, would you say this next commercial is a good example of hard sell?
Well, it does sort of hit you over the head.
On the 1st of June, if you're one of the 100 first draw winners of the Samboy Chips competition, you'll receive a voice synthesizer watch.
Watch it, Shorty.
A week later, if you're one of the 10 lucky second draw winners, you'll receive a national video cassette recorder. But if you're the grand prize winner in the third and final draw, you'll receive a top-of-the-range Toyota Tarago GLS.
Now, Ed, in this next spot, the advertiser wants you to believe that the taste of his candy is so blissful it just allows the consumer to escape his dreary everyday surroundings. Almost. Bliss bombs. Ed, I trust that you have a passing acquaintance with the American legal system.
Are you kidding? I never missed an episode of Perry Mason.
You're an expert. No, actually, that's the backbone of our jurisprudence system, the jury system is. Everybody has the right to be judged by a jury of his peers.
Right, and it's an honor to be called to serve on a jury.
But, you know, it's always handled in a very understanding manner. If you can show good cause, if you have a reasonable excuse, they will excuse you.
Now, Marie Osmond was recently excused from jury duty. She was told she had to come down, however, to court and get her deferment in person. Now, that's very unusual, have to show up in person in court for that.
Well, it is, maybe, but not when you're called by our practical joke crew. Marie Osmond, as we know, is a fine young lady, a major talent, but just as importantly, she always wants to do the right thing.
Now, she fell into our trap perfectly. Imagine going down for your deferment, winding up as a member of a jury that can't go home for weeks. Watch this.
The victim, Marie Osmond. Now, she's appearing in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and she's been asked to report to a federal court office.
The accomplice, Alan Phillington, Marie's road manager. He's going to court with Marie to help us pull off this practical joke.
And this is your old stomping ground, Ed, the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Boy, this brings back a lot of memories.
Now, Marie's in town to perform with her brother, Donnie, and this is the federal courthouse where she's been summoned to appear.
Now, there are Marie and our accomplice, Alan. Marie thinks she's going to seek a quick deferment and leave.
Oh, can we try to see it in a bit, please? Thank you.
Does she need to fill it out or anything?
No, I'll just stamp it in and that's fine. Okay.
Now, remember, everybody in this waiting area is in on the joke, and in a moment, actor Thomas J. McCarthy will begin reading off some names, including Marie's.
So if you want to stay out when I call up your name and get in line, please. Julie Bennett.
At least we got
Jane Bentley. Sam Broza. Marie Osmond. Bruce Goodwin.
At this point, Marie thinks she's in a line of people who are getting excused from jury duty. She doesn't know she's about to be sworn in to serve on a jury.
Now, Marie is really in a hurry to get this thing over with because this is her opening night in Atlantic City. She'd really like to get back to the hotel and relax. After all, she's been told that this whole process is only going to take a couple of minutes.
Now, in a moment, Marie will enter, look around, and realize that she's in a courtroom. Watch.
She wants to leave, but our accomplice Alan is steering her toward the jury box. She's telling Alan, I think there's some mistake.
There's no mistake, Marie. This is just the way we planned it.
Now, again, remember, this all looks very official, but everybody in the courtroom, from the judge to the police officer, is part of the joke.
And here comes the judge.
All rise. Federal court is now in session with the Honorable Joanne Bradley presiding.
And that's actress Joanne Bradley.
You may be seated.
And Marie's got to be thinking, what is this? Don't tell me court's in session.
Court is in session. The matter before the court today is the United States of America versus Mark David Sweeney. Counsel, please identify yourself for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. I am Lawrence Shire, Assistant United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New Jersey.
This looks serious.
And I'm the attorney for the defendant, Mark David Sweeney.
That's right. All Marie keeps thinking is, I'm not supposed to be here.
Thanks. You do solemnly swear, raise your right hand, please.
I'm not supposed to be here.
You do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and that you will faithfully...
Alan's helping us out. He's getting sworn in, too.
Standing. Do you swear? I do. Thank you.
Counsel prepared with the opening statement?
I'm not supposed to be
Yes, we are, Your Honor. But before we proceed, there's one matter.
Now, the bailiff is telling Marie, please be seated. There's a trial going on here.
Now, Marie's not really concentrating on what the lawyer's saying. She's trying to figure out how to get out of all this. But in a moment, she's going to hear the lawyer say the word sequestered. And she knows that means the jury can't go home until the trial is over.
Mr. Ferguman and I regretfully request that the jurors be sequestered for the remaining portion of this trial.
Now, this lady came here to get excused from jury duty. She could be kept here for months.
These publications, this court will agree to have the jury sequestered. Given the lateness of the hour, The court will adjourn until Monday morning. At this time, the jury can be excused, and the bailiff will handle your accommodations, phone calls, and any arrangements that have to be
Marie's now going to make a personal appeal to the judge.
All right.
You can.
Is there any way we can judge or something? Let me bring up the...
Would the rest of the jury just wait in this area for my right hand?
Now, Marie is a lady of immense personal charm, and surely she can straighten these things out here.
Judge Bradley.
You put me in the wrong line. I don't know how I got in here.
Hi, I'm Judge Bradley, dear.
So I'm not even supposed to be on this jury. I was subpoenaed for a jury in Utah. Unfortunately, I can't be, so they told me to come to the courthouse to send in a paper.
Well, you were sworn in, dear, and this is a federal offense.
That's what I told him, and he told me to just do it.
But once you're sworn in, do you have the card? Well, dear.
Our accomplice, Alan Finlinson, does a great job of acting here.
What's your name, sir?
No, I didn't read out that name.
Finlinson?
Alan Finlinson.
Well, you can be released. You can be released. That was a mistake. If you're
what
not.
about Marie?
No, I'm
She's
sorry,
got
dear. You're
a
down
show
here.
to do tonight.
Well, I have her name down here, and if I release her, then this is going to become a mistrial. And this is a federal.
I put my hand up.
You were sworn in, dear. There's nothing I can do. You don't have a mistrial. This is a federal offense. I mean, this is a computer crime with thousands of dollars involved.
Well, we're gonna...
Okay, fellas, I think it's time to let this nice young lady off the hook. Send in our lawyer friend here.
I'm sorry, but that's impossible.
Your Honor, this is a travesty of justice. This is a joke. This is something that you might see on television on a program like TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes.
Sorry.
Who did this?
I'm fired.
Wait a second. Where are you? Hi,
At last, that famous Osmond smile.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, folks. You did it. Thank you.
Ed, my friend, the time has flown once again. Why don't we have dinner tonight? My treat.
Really? That's very nice, Dick.
No, don't mention it. Oh. I thought maybe that you and Victoria could meet me at the same place I took you last month.
The same place as last month?
Yeah, you need the address?
No. I'll just look for those golden arches.
Stop. Before we go, remember this.
People that Pantex are trying to make a living, and we understand that. We're not against those people at all. We're just against continually making nuclear weapons.
You can just go ahead and brush your hair out there. You don't have to keep your hands at your sides.
Okay, we're
Just be natural. Okay.
This is natural.
Now, News 11 at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Alleged
Now,
serial
keep
killer
your eye
Henry
on this
Lucas
lady's
says
beaded
two
necklace.
Lebanon provided him.
Good night, everybody.
Saturday on The Facts of Life, Natalie and Snake spend the night together. Then on 227, Mary rides to the rescue of Calvin and Eddie when their grades fall lower than a centipede's belly. And on The Golden Girls, Blanche reveals all for a sexy European sculptor. And on Amen, a doubting deacon is called on to stop a teen suicide. Only on NBC.